Good morning, students. Good morning to all. Our last day we have studied about the marginal curve approach and some of the market structures. So today also just we will study what we have studied on last day, and today also we will go to the new concepts. Last day we have studied about the types of markets on the basis of size, on the basis of area, on the basis of commodity, on the basis of competitions. We have classified the market as different types. So today we will go to the structure, market structures. So how many types of the markets are there? So commonly or broadly we can classify the market structure as a two types. First one is perfect competitions and the next one is imperfect competitions. So on the basis of the competitions, we can classify it as a two types. One is perfect competitions, next one is imperfect competitions. So even we can classify the perfect competitions as three types. First one is monopoly market and discriminating monopoly market and the bilateral monopoly market. In this imperfect market, we can classify the market as three types. First one is monopolistic competitionist, next one oligopoly, third one duopoly. So first we will study about the perfect competitions. So the perfect competitions, it is an ideal but imaginary market. So the competitions will be there. So on the basis of competitions, or if any of the competition is existing as very perfectly, so we can say it's the perfect competitions market. But this is also one of the market structures. So it is an ideal but imaginary market. So 100% of perfect completion cannot be seen. So even if there is more demand, and the supply is also going to increase as heavily, but we cannot see as a 100% completions. So perfect competitions market is that type of market in which the number of buyers and the sellers is very large, and all are engaged in buying and selling a homogeneous product at uniform price without any artificial restrictions, and possessing perfect knowledge of the market at that time. So the best example for the perfect competition is the fish market or the flower market or the fruits and vegetables market. So normally in our area, so the perfect competitions will be going on. So on weekly or daily market will be happening. So if you are considering the fish market, so between the particular time only it will be going on. So in this fish market, all the sellers or the producers, or now we will take the sellers. Okay. So the sellers, all the sellers will be selling the fish only. And many or large number of the buyers also will going to purchasing that fish. The same time the seller also can easily increase on the basis of the demand. So normally if the availability of fish is more and the demand also is high in this market, suddenly the new seller will be appear and he will sell the fish. So is any of the market as more number of buyers and the sellers, and if they are selling the homogeneous product without any artificial demand and the same price, it is called perfect competitions. So according to John Robinson, the perfect competitions prevails when the demand for the output of each producer is perfectly elastic. If the supply of commodity is prevails as very large, so the producers also will be appear on the basis of the demand. So in this perfect competitions market, some of the features are there. So what are the features are there in this perfect competitions mean? First one is the large number of buyers and sellers. A large number of buyers implies that each individual buyer buys a very small quantum of a product as compared to that found in the market. So why the large number of buyers will going to purchase? Because more sellers will be there. And when we are comparing to the amount of product in this market, when we are comparing the consumers with the amount of products in this market is very low. Even if there is more demand and more supply of commodities, the buyers also will be increased. But in the same time, the buyers also will not be able to make a price maker. So even there is more demand and in the supply also will be very high, and at the same time the large number will be there, large number of buyers, because there is more product. So all the buyers will going to the market to purchasing. But when they are going to purchasing any of the commodities, even the more supplies are there, so the demand and the supply only will be determine the price. So next, the means of price takers. So even the buyers and the sellers will never make a price for any of the commodities in these perfect competitions. The large number of sellers implies that share of each individual seller is very small quantum of a product. So this means that has no power to fix the price of that product. So like the buyer, the seller also is only a price taker and not a price maker. You must know about the difference between the price maker and the price taker. So price makers mean, so those who can able to fix a price is called price maker. But in this perfect competitions, no one will become as a price maker, because on the basis of demand and the supply of commodity only the price will be determined. If there is more buyers and there is no demand means, so the sellers will not able to price making. So on the basis of demand, if there is more demand, on the basis of demand, if the supply also is highly increased, so the buyers and the sellers will be in equilibrium. On the basis of equilibrium or in the point of equilibrium only, the buyers and the sellers will come to fixing the proper price. Anyway, the large number of buyers and sellers will be there in these perfect competitions. Best example, if you are going to the fish market or the vegetable market or the weekly market, so we can see more sellers will be there and he will be selling the same commodities. So on the other hand, the more sellers, the buyers also will be going. Even some of the viewers also will going as a simply they will go. So large number of buyers and sellers will be there in these perfect competitions. Next, homogeneous product and uniform price. So the same example we can take. So if you are going to the fish market, so we can never see any of the other commodities will be selling in that fish market. If you are going to the fish market, so they all the sellers will be selling the same fish only. Same fish means the different type of the fish may be there, but they will sell the fish only. And all the sellers will be having the uniform price. No one will increase and decrease. If any of the seller is decreasing the price with another sellers, so they will not get the reasonable profit, and other sellers also will get angry and they will went out to the market. So all the sellers will be selling the homogeneous product and uniform price only will be there. If you are going to all the sellers, everybody will be fixing the same price. So wherever they are going to the market on the basis of the demand, so they will be selling the same price. So the product sold and bought is homogeneous in nature, in the sense that the units of the product are perfectly substitutable. So all the units of products are identical, of the same size, shapes, color, quality, etc. Therefore, a uniform price prevails in the market. So when you are going to the fees, if you are understand or if you are predict some of the difference or some of the quality or some of the shapes, or any of the different is there, we can fix the more price or different price. But everybody is are selling the same product with the same shape, color and all the qualities. So the uniform price only have to maintain in this perfect competitions. Next, free entry and exit. So in the short run, it is possible for the very efficient producers. So producing the product at a very low cost to earn supernormal profit. So as we have studied in the short term market, in the short term, so we can easily change or adapt the variable factors. By arranging the variable factors, so we can easily increasing the supply in the short term. But in the long run, we can easily change all the factors, even the variable factors and the fixed factor. So when we are arranging the all the factors, so we can increasing the supply of commodities as heavily or abundantly. But here all the sellers and buyers can easily enter to the market, like that they can easily exit from the market. So in the short run, many producers or the many sellers will be appear and enter to the market due to the high profit, otherwise the supernormal profit. So normally within the certain period, the certain period, more demand is there in this market. All the producers want to earning the more profit, and by changing the variable factors, they will be increasing the supply of commodities. And when they are going to increasing the supply of commodities, more sellers can earning the supernormal profit. And if any of them predict, and if any of them feels there is no more profit and some of the loss is erased in this short term, so they will exit from the market. So anyway, all the sellers can easily enter to the market and they can establish the firm, and they will sell idea other homogeneous sellers. So like that, the buyers also easily can enter in the market and they can exit from the market. So next, absence of transport cost. So the prevalence of the uniform price is also due to the absence of the transport cost. So if there is transport, or if some of the availability of transport is there in this perfect competitions, the difference in the price will be there. But here there is no transport cost from one farm to another farm. If you are going to the market, we have no need to moving from one place to another one of the place. Within the single market itself, we can purchasing all type of the commodities or homogeneous type of the product. So we are going to the market, and wherever we want to go, within the market itself you have to go. And even if you are trying to getting more profit, it is not possible, because all the sellers are going to selling the homogeneous product only, and we will get the same product from all the sellers. So there is no options of, there is no need to transport cost. Next, perfect mobility of factor of productions. The prevalence of the uniform price is also due to the perfect mobility of the factors of productions. The factor of production easily can exchange from one producer to another of the producers, and one farm to another of the farms. So on the basis of demand, we have to increasing the supply of commodities. So the suppliers or the producers will be in need of more factor of productions, and the factor of productions also will have more required. So when they have more demand, so they can easily will exchange from or will be mobilizing from one place to another one of the place or one farm to another one of the farm. So because of that also we can say the uniform price will be available. So next, perfect knowledge of the market. In this perfect competitions market, so all the buyers and the sellers will be have the perfect knowledge of the market. So if you are taking the example as a fish market, so all the sellers also will have the uniform price and all the buyers also will have the knowledge about the price and what are the product is going to sell, the character, the features of the product is known by the both buyers and sellers. So all buyers and sellers have through the knowledge of the quality of the product, prevailing price, etc. So the availability place and what are the raw materials going to use and what are the indications are there, some of the awareness of the commodities usages and the price, everything also will be known by the both buyer and seller, because the only one product is going to sell in the market. So all the sellers will be attract the consumers by exposing the features of the commodities. So by selling the any of the commodities in the perfect competitions market, both buyers and sellers will have the perfect knowledge of the market and the product. And no government interventions. So in this perfect competitions market, no government regulations on supply of raw materials and in the determinations of the price, because on the basis of demand and supply only will be the price will be fixed. So the buyers and the sellers will not have the ability to fixing the price. Okay, if any of the commodities has more demand within the particular period, the buyers will fixing the price. And if there is more demand and there is more supply, so those who want to enter into the market, they can enter. So there is no government interventions to establish the perfect competitions market, and there is no restriction to exit from that market. So on the basis of demand or on the basis of earning more profit, so more sellers will get into the markets. So 9 features are there. So large number of buyers and sellers. Next, homogeneous product and uniform price. Next, free entry and exit. So every sellers can easily enter into the market. So like that they will exit from the market if they don't want to existing. Next, options of transport cost. There is no need to making the transport cost from one place to another of the place. So all the persons can able to purchasing within the one place itself. Next, perfect mobility of factor of productions. So the factor of productions will be in the high demand. So all the producers will be in need of more factor of productions. So the factor of productions also can easily mobile from one place to other one of the place. Just perfect knowledge of the market. So both the buyer and the sellers will have the thorough knowledge of the market and the product. Next, no government interventions. Okay, on the basis of demand and supply. So those who want to get into the market, they can enter and they can easily fixing the price on the basis of demand only. So there is no government interventions. Next, imperfect competitions. So already we have studied the imperfect competitions and the perfect competitions are there. The concept of imperfect competitions was proposed in 1933 in John Robinson's. It is an important market category where the individual firms exercise their control over the price. If any of the single sellers can have the power to fixing the price of their commodities, and in the name itself we can understand the perfect competitions will be appear with imperfect. The competitive will be there with imperfectively. The imperfect competitions is that competitive market. So situation where there are many sellers but they are sell the heterogeneous goods. It is opposite to the perfect competitive market scenario. So in this perfect competitions market, so all the producers will be selling or all the sellers will sell the homogeneous product. But in these imperfect competitions, the many sellers will be there, but they will sell the heterogeneous product. So the imperfect competitions in the real world competitions, because now all type of the companies or firms are producing the different type of the commodities and they will get into the market to selling their commodities. So here many peoples or the many firms will come into the market by introducing their product with the different type of the features with the slightly changes if all the producers can introduce their product. For example, the one company, the Unilever company is also producing the different type of product, and the Honda companies and some of the Tata companies also will producing the same type of the commodities and they will produce the different line of commodities also. So in these imperfect competitions, so we can first study about the monopoly market. So the word monopoly has been derived from the combinations of two words, mono and poly. So mono means a single and poly means sellers. So within the word we can easily understand. Mono means single, poly means seller, means the single seller will be there. So under the imperfect competitions, first one is the monopoly market. So under the name itself we can understand mono means single, poly means seller. The single seller will be there. So monopoly refers to a market situation in which there is only one seller of a commodity. Hence, there is no scope for competitions. Some economists observe that there will always be potential threat to the monopolist. Now, if you have the power to produce, if you only have the power to produce any of the commodities, you only will considered as a monopolist. For best example is some of the books, some of the author will be writing the books and they will issued. So after getting the copyright, so the book, the author only will have the monopoly power. If he want to issue the book, he only have the power to issue and he only has the power to fixing the price of that books. And even if there is more demand, more seller, he only has the power to issue the book. Like that, some of the companies are there to producing any type of the commodities and they will become as a monopolist. So monopoly is a market structure characterized by a single seller selling the unique product with the restrictions for a new firm to enter the market. So in this monopoly market, some of restriction, not only some, more restrictions are there to get into the market to selling the same type of commodities. And even if there is more demand, some of the sellers are not some of the seller, only one seller will be there. Suppose the government, the book is our textbook is issued by the state government. So the state government only will have the power to issuing the books. Like that, some of the producers also will have the power to produce and selling the types of commodities. That is called monopoly. So if you want to explain about more about the monopoly, so we need more time. So we will stop today. So if you have any doubt, please ask me. So, and just you study about the features of market structures or perfect competitions. Thank you.